The 1908 Gypsy Moth Gang, 1908 Boston.
Gypsy Moth Gang bang bang anarchy and robbery.
The Gypsy Moth Extermination Gang. Anarchist immigrants from Latvia. Shootouts in the cemetery with 200 policemen and 3 gang members. Robbing a barroom cash register and killing for $90. Anarchy and robbery. They say the money is rightly theirs because no one owns it. Exterminator taken to the extreme, taking out cops and bystanders for a little cash.
Gypsy Moth Gang bang bang anarchy and robbery.
The 1908 Gypsy Moth Gang, 1908 Boston.
Gypsy Moth Gang bang bang anarchy and robbery.
For a little cash, Gypsy Moth Gang balam balam sound of the guns at the dawn's early light. Latvian anarchist robbing for money. They say no one owns it, so it's rightfully theirs.
Gypsy Moth Gang bang bang anarchy and robbery.
One of the biggest crimes in Boston history occurred in quiet Jamaica Plain, with running gun battles and a dramatic shootout at bucolic Forest Hills Cemetery. At approximately 11 p.m. on Tuesday, the 21st of July, 1908, 7 men were sitting in the Winterson and McManus Saloon on Washington Street. Thomas Winterson, the proprietor John Carty, the bartender and 5 customers were having a last drink. Just before closing, 3 unfamiliar men entered, as one jumped over the bar and threw the cash register to the floor. His 2 companions drew pistols and began firing. Winterson was shot in the head. 2 customers were also shot, while one of the men picked up the money from the register. Bartender Carty escaped to the back room and called police station 13. With their take of $90, the 3 men ran into the street.
Gypsy Moth Gang bang bang anarchy and robbery.
2 of the yeggmen, or bandits, involved in the robbery were in a running gun battle through the streets of Jamaica Plain. As they frantically ran through the streets, 3 more bystanders were shot in the legs. From there, the desperados continued to Forest Hills Street, where they turned and ran for Forest Hills Cemetery. Patrolman McMahon had been keeping watch on the west edge of the cemetery, in the back of 80 Woodlawn Street. He heard a noise at the cemetery fence, and when he came out into the light to investigate, he fell with a gunshot wound to the abdomen. After waiting on guard throughout the night, at 4 a.m. 200 policemen entered Forest Hills Cemetery to engage and capture the bandits. At the left of the main entrance they saw a man running toward a ravine. When the man saw them, he unleashed a succession of bullets in their direction. As quickly as he emptied the magazine, he reloaded with another clip and began firing again.
Gypsy Moth Gang bang bang anarchy and robbery.
As police bullets rained down on the man's location, 1 shot responded to the police fusillade, and it suddenly grew quiet. The police ran down the gully to where the man leaned against the tree. Chief Watts grasped him about the throat. "He's dead," the chief said, but the announcement made no impression upon the police. The force of armed men surged down the gully, frenzied with rage, crying, "Kill him! Finish him up! Make an end to him! Get back! Get back!" shouted the chief. But the policemen paid no attention to the command. They were for seizing the body and doing it violence. Chief Watts and the others struck the patrolmen, knocked them down and fought them off for several minutes until the excited men regained their senses and dropped back. Then Dr. Dunn made a hasty examination of the body and announced that the outlaw was dead. From that moment the policemen were rational, obedient to orders again, the passionate resentment having subsided. They helped place the dead man in the automobile and quietly went away when released from further duty. The dead desperado at the Forest Hills Cemetery was identified as Edmund Gutman, a Latvian, who had come to the United States from the western provinces of Russia within the previous 2 years. He procured a job with the Metropolitan Park Force doing gypsy moth extermination work in the Middlesex Fells. With no police guarding the far side of the cemetery, the two remaining yeggmen jumped the fence and crossed the railroad tracks to the Arnold Arboretum.
Gypsy Moth gang bang bang anarchy and robbery.
It was announced that Peter Plaud and Andrew Jacobson, two friends of the dead outlaw Edmund Gutman, were the men who shot their way through the streets of Jamaica Plain. The three companions, Lettish gypsy moth crewmen, were low on funds, and their extreme anarchist beliefs on property rights justified and led to their attack on the saloon.